babies. So them going into the park on our second day. Way better view than yesterday at the elk.
So we are heading to the Bear Lake Trailhead. The parking at 8 a.m. was already full when we entered the park from the 6 a.m. group tickets. So we are taking the park and ride, as are all of these other people heading to Bear Lake. We are on the Bear Lake Trail, and we were talking on our bus ride here that it's unbelievable how crowded the park is, despite the fact that they've got the timed entry tickets.
At 8 a.m.
At 8 a.m.
The
things are
parking lot
packed.
is full. We had to take a shuttle.
So that's just kind of amazing to think about.
And there's Bear Lake.
And there's Bear Lake. We're on the Bear Lake Trail right now. It's a half-a-mile loop. It's going to be our warm-up hike before we head up to Emerald Lake and then Lake Haiyaha, I think it is. So we've got we're combining a couple little hikes together, and we're planning about 7 miles. We'll see how we do. We may not make the whole 7 miles, but the views are already spectacular. I mean, holy moly, look at this. On the way to Emerald Lake, I think we're going to go past 2 other lakes in addition to this one, and then on the way up to Lake Haiyaha, I think we're going to get like 1 or 2 more lakes.
We saw a huge elk on the way in.
A bull elk.
A bull elk. And so hopefully we're going to see more wildlife today.
The shuttle buses are nice. The problem with shuttle buses, they don't stop for wildlife.
They don't stop for wildlife, and they're crowded.
The buses were crowded, so and big long lines as you saw earlier. So,
we're gonna have rain this afternoon, so we'll see how the day goes, period.
So let's get to hiking. This is Bear Lake. I don't think the bear know it.
It's only a half mile, so it's really nice for families and handicap.
It is wheelchair accessible. There's some hills.
Yeah, and it shows you at the beginning what the grades are, but it's a good way to start the day.
All right, we've finished our Bear Lake loop. Now we are heading to...
And we didn't see a bear.
No bear. Now we are heading to Nymph Lake and then Dream Lake, with our destination being Emerald Lake.
It's all uphill from here.
I don't think it's all uphill,
Oh,
but it's uphill. We reached our first destination, which is Nymph Lake. It's kind of funny, in the Midwest, we always think of lakes being in the low-lying areas, so it's kind of funny to climb a mountain to see a lake. But that's what we're doing.
We're climbing to see a couple more lakes. Next time I'm here, I want a moose in the lake.
So there is Nymph Lake, where we just left. And we are heading in this general direction. From the trailhead, we climbed about 200 feet to get to Nymph Lake, and now we're climbing about 200 more feet for Dream Lake, and then it'll be about 200 more feet to get to Emerald Lake, and it's about a half mile between each lake. Emerald Lake. I'm guessing the water here is pretty cold, seeing as how it was snow earlier this morning. At least some of it was.
Oh my gosh, it's very cold. It's so beautiful.
back at Dream Lake. Man, coming down the half mile was a heck of a lot faster than going up it. The trail's really actually not very steep. It's kind of just the elevation that makes it a little harder climbing, but it makes the downhill really nice. So far we've just done a big out and back. Now we're about a mile back from Emerald Lake. No, I'm sorry, a half mile back from Emerald Lake. And we're taking a Y to go up to Lake Haiyaha. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Not totally sure. Now, this one is going to be about a 300-foot climb to get us up there. But we hear that this lake is actually a little bit prettier than Emerald Lake, which is hard to believe, but it might be the trail a little less traveled. We're going to keep our fingers crossed for that. Made it to Lake Haiyaha. I don't know. We'll learn how to say it. But this is a stunning, stunning lake. Lot fewer people than we saw up at Emerald Lake. Harder to get to. Just beautiful. All right, we are back at Nymph Lake, and you can see as the day goes on, the crowds just get kind of heavier and heavier.
Which means the bus that we have to take to shuttle to our car is going to be...
Probably be a longer bus wait than we had before. We have a little duck right here on the edge of the lily pads.
Aww. He's so tiny.
Good morning.
Morning.
We are at the East Inlet of Rocky Mountain National Park.
We've been driving for an hour and a half.
Actually, I think maybe even a little longer. So we left Estes Park a little before 8 and drove all the way through the park.
It is 9:39.
Okay. And drove all the way through the park, up past Alpine Visitor Center, back down, and we are now at Grand Lake.
It was a great drive.
It's a very nice drive.
A bull moose, so that was pretty exciting.
And a marmot posing for pictures on a wall.
Womp womp.
And we are taking, this is our morning warm-up hike. So we are walking out to Adams Falls.
It's only 0.3 of a mile.
One way. And then we're driving back up to the visitor center that's over on this side of the park. And we're gonna hike up to the Big Meadow where we can see elk and moose. So we're hoping for that.
The interesting thing is that it said we're entering lion country. And we have not seen that anywhere else in the park.
No, we have not. And that would be mountain lions, by the way.
Yeah.
Or panthers.
Not lions.
Not like Simba. But you never know. Here we go. All right, so we made it to Adams Falls. Very quick hike. I'll get you a better shot of the falls in a minute. I just want to show you the rest of the view because it's pretty nice. That is Grand Lake off in the distance. Grand Lake is the largest lake in Colorado. So here is the view of Adams Falls. And it's even further below me. We are at the Tonahutu Trailhead.
We got 0.8 of a mile in at Adams Falls.
Yeah.
So a nice little warm up.
Now we're at the visitor center, which I'm not even going to try to pronounce, but I will put the name of it down below.
Kawichi?
Something like that.
I tried.
And we are looking at doing about a 7-mile hike here.
We'll see. The altitude is kicking
600 feet of elevation. So we'll see. It's just out and back is the plan as of right now. Up to the Big Meadow where we are supposed to be able to see elk and moose. If we're lucky. We've seen a ground squirrel. Yay.
We saw a bull moose.
We did see a bull moose from the road, so there was that too.
All right.
Here we go. So we we are still on the spur trail leading to our main trail. So right now we are walking east, but our out will be walking mostly north along the Tonahutu River towards the Big Meadow. And then our current plan is, yeah, it's part of the Continental Divide Trail. Then our current plan is to, at some point, turn back and then just walk south back along the same trail, and then west back along this trail back to the visitor center as we make this hike. Because our total hike for the out has 600 feet of elevation gain. And then, yeah, right now it's flat, but right now we're walking east. As soon as we head north, we'll start walking upstream, and that's when we'll really start our climbing. So I think we've just reached our intersection. By the way, so far on this trail, we've come across one hiker hiking in the opposite direction. So this is the way I really like my trails, secluded. There we go. Kawunichi Visitor Center, half mile back that way.
And then there's no
And
sign.
the sign on that marker is missing. But we know we're supposed to turn left. So
Yeah.
there we go.
There we go.
We've taken a little spur trail here into the meadow. This is looking south. And this is looking north. And you can see it's really opened up quite a bit here for us. So we've been hiking along this range here, kind of on a ridge line, just skirting the meadow for most of our hike since it opened up.
More people over there.
Yeah, more people going out on little spurs up and down the meadow here, all the way down to the water.
Coming up to the trail intersection.
Yeah, we're getting close to the intersection, so a lot of these people are up in front of us have probably just been hiking ahead of us all morning and are making their breaks and maybe getting ready to turn back also. So we are on the back portion of our out and back. We made it to exactly 4 miles. Sat down and had a snack. Oh, by the way, I'm really liking these rocks. Wanted to show you one of them.
Wah, wah.
What do you think?
Wah, wah.
Nothing, really?
Wah, wah.
Hashtag National Park Geek jokes. So we made it 4 miles, like I was saying, and we're now on our back portion, almost exclusively downhill. Most of this trail is kind of through this forest, and the entire time we've been hiking beside Green Mountain.
Can't see much of it from here.
So it's been a top-notch trail, absolutely beautiful, and honestly well-maintained, easy to follow, easy to walk on. And then I slip and fall. So we've been seeing this, and we thought it was trees wrapped in baling wire, but now that I'm up close to it, actually I think it's a pipeline. And we've been following it for probably about a mile, and it goes on for a long, long way. So I'm interested to talk to a park ranger and find out what this is, because that's fascinating. Somebody put a lot of work into that. Hike 8 miles, pull over on the side of the road to get a video of moose. Typical.
We got some elk on the side of the road. Just grazing today. They are at the highest point. We're at about 12,000 feet. They're just grazing. Look at this view.
No trip to Estes Park, Colorado is complete without a visit to the haunted Stanley Hotel.
The Stanley Hotel opened in 1909 by Freeland Oscar Stanley of Stanley Steamer, the infamous carpet cleaner. The hotel was a luxury resort and health spa. It claimed to be the first hotel that was totally electrified west of the Mississippi.
Stephen King famously stayed here in room 217 in 1974. After a night of drinking in the whiskey bar and a horrible nightmare, he conceived the story of The Shining, which was later filmed here for the 1997 miniseries.
The tours of the Stanley take visitors through a number of haunted spaces, including the concert hall, lobby, salons, the dining room, under the haunted room 217, and the basement.
Flora Stanley's grand piano, located in the music room, has an interesting history, and if visitors get too close, she lets them know about it, an experience that I can confirm is a little uncomfortable.
Good morning. Whew. We are at the Bear Lake area. We just got off the bus from the park and ride at the Glacier Ridge Trailhead.
Glacier Gorge.
Glacier Gorge. I keep messing that up. Glacier Gorge Trailhead.
What's the altitude?
Our elevation's right here. It's about 9,100 or so feet. And we are going to attempt to hike up the Sky Pond today. I say attempt because this hike involves, it's about 4.5 miles one way, and it involves some rock hopping up a waterfall.
She said, the woman at the front said, the easiest part is going up. It's hard coming down.
So when we get to that rock scramble, of course, we'll show that to you. And we'll decide how far we're going.
We'll see.
Either way, it's an out and back hike. It's just a matter of how far we go. So our hike today is going to take us to 2 waterfalls, 3 alpine lakes, and I can't remember what the elevation climb is, but it's
1650.
yes, it's significant. So we got a lot of climbing to do.
It's gonna be low, long, and slow.
Yep. So here we go. We've obviously made it to Alberta Falls. And that's where the crowds will gather.
miles.
2.2 miles from the trailhead. We've come to another intersection. Our destination, which is Sky Pond, is 27.
Hey, Lake Haiyaha. You went there, yes.
Lake Haiyaha is where we hiked the last time we were in this area.
Let's not go to the same place.
Nope.
Let's go somewhere new. Sky Pond it is.
Sky Pond it is. We're still on our way up to the lock. There are places we've hiked where this would have been the destination. This is just a distraction on the side of the trail. Don't judge me, I'm throwing right-handed.
Don't judge. You missed.
So, literally just turned around from throwing that snowball at Michelle and walked around the corner, and we are at the lock. And we're heading off to the right for our trail. But first of all, we're going to just walk down here to the lock, because what's up through the trees, you can just barely make it out from here, is Andrews Glacier. All right, we are here at the lock. We started hiking at the parking lot at just below 9,200 feet. And here at the lock, we are just above 10,200 feet. So it's about a 1,000-foot climb up to get here. I meant to check the mileage before I started recording and I forgot, but I think we were about 3.5 miles
I like that.
to get here. if this was your destination, it is well worth the climb.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
This as a destination in and of itself, and you know, have a little picnic lunch up here.
Bring a jacket.
Bring clothes,
Yeah.
because it has gotten noticeably cooler up here. Also, we had to just spray for mosquitoes a couple minutes ago because the bugs got really bad. Apparently mosquitoes don't have problems with elevation. So my thick blood will be quite amazing for them.
It is gorgeous. It is stunning. It is definitely worth the hike. I would do it.
Now we are on to Timberline Falls,
Which is another
and then
half mile.
I think it's called Lake of Glass, and then Sky Pond. We have just about a mile to go.
At about 650
Another
feet of elevation.
So the climb's about to get real.
And lunch.
Since we have left the lock, the trail
A
has
lot.
been anywhere from a relatively easy 10% grade to very, very steep steps like what you see right here in front of us. But that's not even the steepest part, because we're heading for that ridge to climb the waterfall. All right, we have reached the waterfall. You can see right here in front of Michelle, there's just a few more stairs, then the trail ends, because you just make your own way. You just make your way up the waterfall to the top, and then the trail resumes again. All right, so we have reached our personal summit of the day. There's the lock, and then Timberline Falls is coming up right here behind me. And then this is the trail up to Lake of Glass and then Sky Pond. But between the elevation and everything else, we're saying we reached our summit. Because this rock scrambling is just a little more than what we're wanting to do today. Because don't forget, we still have to hike 4 miles back to the car, to the shuttle. So this is our break for the day. We're stopping for a snack. New problem. Now we have to go back down. Yikes.
Hello.
Hi, we are still walking downhill. We have a new development. We've got thunder. We haven't seen any lightning.
Had a few raindrops, but not bad.
But we are 0.8 of a mile back to the parking lot. So
Praise Jesus.
we thought we would give you a quick trail summary here. This trail is no joke. It is tough.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost 2,000 feet of climbing, and there's no like beautiful, just easy path. It is maneuvering around rocks, climbing on stairs the whole time.
It's a relatively level grade, so it's not terribly steep most of the time.
My knees ache.
But there are a few spots where it is. But this is a trail where you have to really watch it every time you put your foot down, just about.
And we're not going quite as fast downhill as normally thought we would be, because there's so much watching where you're stepping.
Yeah, lots of rocks and stumps. It's been rare for us to be able to walk side by side.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's been single file. And it's also been very rare to have just flat and smooth like this is behind us right now.
This is the busiest part of the trail, because the first 0.8 of the trail is Alberta Falls. So that's what a lot of people do.
Seen a lot more people.
But
It's a
otherwise,
beautiful
I haven't
hike. It's a beautiful hike. It's strenuous. I would, especially if you're planning to go all the way up to Sky Lake. So there you go.